This world is not what we think it is, folks. And I think we're all starting to realize that. I think we're all starting to wake up to various aspects of hidden truths, whether it be in science, religion, education, medical system, you name it. Check out this clip from the latest Joe Rogan episode where this physicist talks about all sorts of things, claims to have the science behind it, things like astral projection, simulation theory, and the true nature of consciousness being coded in the universe. It's kind of long, it's like 7 minutes long, but it's going to blow your mind.
He'd feel his body pulsating. He'd feel his mind, kind of pulsating. And when he got that pulsation state, he would just roll out and he'd find himself out of body. Everything that's going on is going on in here.
What would you describe it as? Like, what are you trying to access? Like, when you're doing this and when you're trying to achieve this state, consciously, what are you thinking?
What you're trying to access is what Bob called, you are asleep but wide awake. Asleep and awake at the same time. So your body goes to sleep, but your mind remains awake. And you are no longer co-located with your body.
Whatever you is.
Whatever you is, right now.
Yeah.
Now, he coined the word out of body. Before that, it was called astral projection and a couple of other terms, but he coined the word out of body, and that's unfortunate because it makes people think that you are somehow inside your body, the soul, or there's lots of different names for it, and that somehow comes out of your body and then goes experience, but that's not the process at all. That's not what's going on. But
What is the process?
The process is entirely consciousness, and what happens is you just shift your mind to a different data stream. We live in a virtual reality. This physical reality is computed. Now, it's being computed by consciousness. Consciousness is individual in us, but there's a system of consciousness, and we're just a piece of that system. Okay, so think of what that means. If virtual reality has some very fundamental attributes. 1, there's a computer. 2, there's a player. 3, the computer computes some virtual space that allows the players to see what's going on and who's interacting with who. So the virtual reality actually doesn't exist. It's just computer-generated eye candy for the players. So here you are, and you are not a human. That's an avatar. You are a piece of consciousness. You're a piece of consciousness that's a chip off the old block. You're a subset. You're a subset of this larger system. And I can make all of this, as weird as it sounds now, I can make all of this logic and science. This is not hand-waving. This is not conjecture. This is the way it works. And I have done the science very meticulously. And this is the big paradigm shift that the sciences have been looking for the last 100 years, since quantum mechanics was started. And everybody realized that they didn't really understand the world after all.
So you are a piece of consciousness.
Yes, you're a subset of this larger consciousness system. So you're getting a data stream. That data stream, you're the player. The data stream defines your reality. Just like if you're playing World of Warcraft, you get a data stream. That data stream is displayed as 1 million pixels on your screen, and you look at those pixels and you see rivers and streams and people and houses, and you turn that data into physical reality. And that's the way it is with us. We're getting a data stream. Out of body, you just shift to a different data stream. Our reality is not what people think. And I got there through a very circuitous path. I got there through understanding and learning and doing research in consciousness, basically paranormal things, and did research in the non-physical. I get out of body and I do things, paranormal things that had evidence, like remote viewing has evidence. You got it right or you get it wrong. And I would then change a variable and do it again, change a variable and do it again. And I could get back in the same state very precisely because I've done it hundreds of times. And eventually, by varying one variable at a time, I figured out how it worked and why it worked. And there are a few things that are key to it. Like one is that consciousness is what's fundamental. Now, that idea goes all the way back to Plato with this analogy of people in a cave, and all they were aware of was the shadows on the wall. And those people were called idealists. Idealists believe that the physical world isn't really the fundamental thing. There's something behind that, something invisible, something we can't see, that we're not aware of. And the physical world is just the thing we interact with, but it's not the real thing. The real thing's behind it. Idealists. But the idealists got stuck. And what they're stuck on is that, and most of them at this point think that consciousness is that thing that's out there. And you say, well, if consciousness is fundamental, then you need to be able to derive physics from it. So can you do that? And they say, well, no, they can't. But I can, and I did. I can derive physics. I can derive quantum physics. So I know how quantum physics works, and it's not weird science at all. It's a logical science, just like all the rest of the branches of science. Once you understand it, all those mysteries just fall out.